So we're going to be solving systems of linear equations using substitution. When we talked in class, we had 3 steps. The first step was to solve the equation, or one of the equations, so that you had a single variable. On this first one here, we already have y and x, so we don't have to solve. Then we just pick one of the 2 to substitute into. So I'm going to use the x equals y minus 4. So I'm going to take this y minus 4 and replace the x in the other equation. This would work just as well if I had gone the other way and replaced the y. I just chose to do this one. There was nothing special about it. Okay, so I've substituted in, and then I want to simplify this, so I'm going to take this negative 2 and distribute it to both of those. So I have y equals 10 minus 2y plus 8. Then 10 and 8 are like terms, so we get y equals negative 2y plus 18. So continuing on, I need to get my y's together, so I'm going to add the 2y to both sides. So I have 3y equals 18. And then I divide both sides by 3, and y equals 6. Now I have y, now I have to go back and find x. Since this, I can substitute into either equation, but since this one says x equals, I'm going to choose that one. So x equals y, which is 6, minus 4, or we can simply say x equals 2. And so my answer here is 2, 6. Okay. All right, so similarly on question 2, I already have one of the equations solved for a single variable. Actually, both of these, right, are solved for a single variable. So I can replace either way. So I'm going to choose to take this 5y and substitute it for that x. Okay, because x equals 5y. So we get 4y plus 1 equals 5y. I want my y's together, so I'm going to subtract the 4y from both sides. And I get 1 equals y. Now I will take that 1 and substitute back into an equation. You can choose either one, but the second equation looks simpler to me, so I'm going to use that one. So we'll have x equals 5 times 1. Or x equals 5. So the answer there is 5, 1. Okay. Number 3 already has one solved, so I'm going to suggest to you that you take this 11 plus 4x and replace y, simplify, and work it out. Okay. And look here at number 5, and I notice that this does not have any single variable equations like we did on the previous ones we looked at. So what I look for to decide on the variable is I look for a coefficient of 1, which I have both x and y here. This one has a coefficient of -1 or -1, so that's a little more complicated. I could do it, but positive ones are a little easier to work with. So just because I can, I'm going to solve this equation for y. So I'm going to subtract the x from both sides, and I get y equals negative x minus 2. Then I'm going to take the negative x minus 2 and substitute it in for the y in the second equation. So 2x minus, and then negative x minus 2 equals 14. All right, so there's an understood 1 here, so I distribute the negative 1 to both the negative x and the minus 2, and I get 2x plus x plus 2 equals 14. So 3x plus 2 equals 14. Then I would subtract the 2 from both sides of the equation, and I have 3x equals 12. Then I would divide by 3, and I know that x equals 4. So now that I have the x equals 4, I go back to my original equations, and I can select either one. I'm going to choose the top one because it looks a little simpler, and replace the x with 4. So 4 plus y equals negative 2. So I would subtract the 4 from both sides, and I know that y equals negative 6. So my solution is 4, negative 6. So on number 6, we have negative x plus y equals 2, 3x minus 5y equals negative 4. Again, I'm going to have to solve. I'm looking here and I see a positive 1 coefficient, so I'm going to solve for y. I would add the x to both sides, and I have y equals x plus 2. Right? So since I solved this one, I have to substitute it into the second one. So 3x minus 5 times x plus 2 equals negative 4. Okay. I'm going to leave that one there because I think we've had plenty of examples. You now would distribute the negative 5 and simplify, and then substitute back that answer in to find the other variable. Okay. All right, let's look on to another problem. Here's number 7. It says, describe and correct the error in solving for one of the variables in the linear system, negative x plus 4y equals negative 9, and 3x minus 2y equals 7. Okay, so the first thing we're supposed to do is solve for one of the variables. Okay, so it looks like here they subtracted the 4y from both sides. Okay, so they did that okay. And then let's see, they took the second equation, which was this 3x minus 2y, and they substituted in negative 4y minus 9 for the x. Oh, this was just plain old x, but this is negative x. Okay, so what they probably should have done is divided everything here by negative 1 so that it was just plain old x. So that would be x equals 4y plus 9. And then we can change this, so this would then become 3 times 4y plus 9 minus 2y equals 7. Okay, so you need to go ahead and finish that out, finish correcting their steps from there. Okay? All right, on number 8, a biology test is worth 100 points and has 36 questions. Whew. Multiple choice questions are worth 2 points each, and essay questions are worth 6 points each. How many questions of each type are on the test? Okay, how many points, how many types of each question? All right, so they said there are multiple choice questions and there are essay questions. So I'm going to let the multiple choice be M and the essay questions be E. And so I know if there are 36 questions, there are M plus E questions will equal 36. Okay, and then if they're multiple choice are worth 2 points, then 2 times M will give me the points I can earn from a multiple choice. And essay questions are worth 6 points, so 6 times E will give me the essay points, and altogether that would be 100. So now that I know that, since we've been using substitution, I think I'll continue on with that. So if M plus E equals 36, then I know that M would equal 36 minus E. And so if M equals that, then I can substitute the M with 36 minus E plus 6E equals 100. Okay, and then I would distribute that 2. So 2 times 6 is 12, 672 minus 2E plus 6E equals 100. So that means 72 plus 4E equals 100. So if I subtract the 72, I get that 4E equals 28. And then we divide by 4, and E equals 7. So that means there are 7 essay questions. All right, so I'm going to leave it to you to figure out how many multiple choice questions there are. All right, and then it says your friend says that it is possible for the multiple choice questions to be worth 4 points each. Is your friend correct? Explain. I think that's a bad question because it says they're worth 2 points each. How would it be possible for the multiple choice questions to be 4 points each? Suppose if we changed up the numbers or something like that. I don't like this particular question, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you to just leave that one off. Okay, number 9. A humane society has 73 dogs and cats to be adopted. The number of cats is 10 more than twice the number of dogs. Write a system of linear equations that represents the situation, and then how many of each animal is up for adoption. Okay, so they have dogs and cats, and there's 73. So if we let D be the dogs and C be the cats, right, that's going to give us 73 dogs and cats. And then the number of cats, so that's our C, is 10 more than, so add 10 to twice the number of dogs, 2D. So, okay, there's our system. We just translated the words into equations. And then how many of each is up for adoption? Okay, well that sounds like a job for you to take care of. You need to solve and find out what D and C would have to be. Okay, I recommend substitution because C is already solved for you, and you would just need to substitute 2D plus 10 in to figure out how many dogs, and then you'll be able to figure out how many cats.